Okay, so now we're gonna answer a couple of the questions that we've gotten on our YouTube videos as well as on our TikToks about the study abroad experience in general. If we miss anything, leave a comment down below or leave a comment on any of our TikToks. We'll either respond there or on our TikTok. So we're always here to answer any questions that we've missed or anything that you guys want to know after this video is posted. Somebody said that they want to study abroad, but they don't know how to go about it with their university. So what I would do is literally just go on Google, type in your university and type in study abroad, and it should take you to a page if they have a study abroad program. That will give you all the information on if you need to see a specific advisor, and you should be able to book an appointment, whether it be in person or over Zoom. They should be able to help you learn the process and what you need to be doing through your own university to prepare to go. Someone asked if this applies to all Canadian universities. I'm not exactly sure if every single university partakes in a study abroad program, but you can look up on Google study abroad Canadian universities, and there should be a list that comes up of the universities that do offer a study abroad, but I would still get in touch with your own university. I think that in general, Canada really loves to give students the opportunity to study abroad, and most universities, if they're in contact with other universities around the world, will 100% offer that. Somebody asked what you can study to go on a study abroad. We would recommend looking into study abroad if you're in an undergraduate degree. It makes it a lot easier, especially if you're in an undergraduate degree that allows you to pick your own classes. Like, we have a list of option classes that we can take and different types of kinesiology classes. It's not a fixed list, so it makes it easier to be able to find classes that match with different options that you have at your university. I'm not sure necessarily how it would work if you're doing a diploma, just because I know that diplomas require a little bit more specification and you might have to do training hours. So I would recommend if you're in an undergraduate program to look into it, but if you are in anything else, always just talk to your university, see what they have to offer. Just look into it as much as possible on Google. There's so many resources online, and universities will have pages and pages of information on study abroads. So if you're interested, Google. Google is your best friend. Somebody asked when you should start applying for a study abroad. What I would recommend is look into it as soon as possible and then figure out what semester you would want to go on your study abroad. We went in third year. Doesn't mean we couldn't have gone in second year. It just worked out that way in our degree and we decided to go that year. But you probably will need to apply a year, at minimum 6 months before you're leaving. It should say, if you Google it on the study abroad website, they'll have lists saying the next semester in this place we're taking applications for now, applications close on this day, and you know you have that amount of time to get in an application so that a spot can be held for you in that program. Someone asked if it was a difficult program to get into. It depends on what university you're going for. We did briefly look into the University of Hawaii, but universities like that, ones that a lot of people would probably want to go to for the aesthetic, fill up very quickly. So the spots, you kind of have to know immediately that you want to go there and put in your application as soon as the application's open. But it is different. Like, we applied for our exchange quite late in the application process, but ECU, there weren't a lot of people applying there. Not to say that it was a bad university or anything. It just so happened that not many people were applying to go to that specific university. So it just depends on which one you're looking for and where you're looking to go. But if you talk to your study abroad advisor about where you want to go, they can give you guidance on whether or not those spots typically fill up quickly and how early on you need to be prepared to apply. If you are super interested in it, I would recommend getting your application ready and submitting it as soon as it's open. The U of C hold spots to people according to the order that the applications are submitted. So if it just so happens that a bunch of people submit their application before you in one particular year, you're just kind of stuck without a spot. It's not difficult to get into, like, it's not there's no requirements to get into it. It's just a matter of being prepared. Someone asked if we got a job. We did not get a job while we were in Perth. We wanted to be able to fully experience the place. We didn't want to have to be worrying about finding a job and working, which is why we worked so hard to save money before we went. That is definitely a possibility. You are allowed to work on a student visa for, I think it's 20 hours a week you can work on a student visa. It just can be an added stress, but if you're planning on going for a year, it can be a really good asset if you are worried about not being able to save enough money. Like, you can definitely get a job if that is something that you really want to do. We just decided not to because we wanted to be able to travel to so many places. It would be hard to find a job that would be willing to give you weeks off whenever you wanted, especially weeks that probably a lot of people are booking off because they are breaks from university. Someone asked what the best part of our whole experience was. I don't really have an answer to that question. I would say the experience as a whole was incredible. I probably wouldn't change anything. The people that I met there were amazing. The places that we got to go were places that I had dreamed of going for so long and thought that they were so out of reach. School in Australia even was great. Like, we had a really good experience with the university we went to. I don't know, I can't really say one thing that I loved the most about it. I would say the experience as a whole was the time of my life.
It's my turn for questions. So the next question is, what travel excursions activities did you do in Australia? What is worth to check out? What's not? What were your favorite cities in Australia? Okay, my probably number one recommendation for Western Australia is going to Rottnest Island. It's amazing and the water is so beautiful and quokkas are so cute. I would also recommend going to Exmouth and Coral Bay. Those places were beautiful and they give you the opportunity to snorkel with whales and like whale sharks and stuff. That's crazy. In Melbourne, it was really cool to go walk around. We went to a huge museum in Melbourne and it had a huge fashion exhibit in it and it ended up being really, really cool. So I would really recommend that if you're in Melbourne. I didn't actually spend any time anywhere else except for Melbourne and Perth and down south of Perth. I love Western Australia because the vibe is so relaxed. The number one thing I would recommend that you do in Australia is go to a music festival. Music festivals are really, really fun. It's just such an incredible experience, especially coming from Canada. Like in Calgary, there's not really anything that compares to it. I went to one on New Year's Eve called Origin and it was freaking poppin'. So go to a music festival. A music festival on the beach. What else do you need? That's what Australia is here for. What year did you go to study abroad? And can all faculties programs go? I think most of the faculties and programs at the University of Calgary can go. I'm pretty sure if your university has a program, there's a good chance you'll be able to go. It's just a matter of if you're going to be able to find classes and if they work with your degree. That's kind of the bigger issue I would think about. We went in 2019, but we started planning it in March 2018. What university did you study at? We studied at Edith Cowan University in Perth. What are you going to school for? Like if you were doing nursing, could you do that? If you're in nursing, I feel like your classes are fairly planned out for you with practicums and stuff like that. So if you are in nursing, I would recommend going to an advisor and just asking and seeing, because there might be other nursing programs that are specific to nursing and that would be really cool. Different universities will offer different programs that are better for different things. Australia is good for kinesiology, so that's why we went there. What specific province did you stay in and what city? We stayed in Perth, Western Australia. What did you spend on average a day? On average a day, it would vary. I would say almost nothing during the week because the main expenses were rent and buying groceries. So I would buy groceries once a week, my phone bill once a month, and then pay rent once a month. There wasn't too many day-to-day expenses. We budgeted to spend about $350 a week. What did you wish you knew before you went? I wish I knew that it was gonna turn out the way it was because it was so good and I would be way less scared, but I'm also glad I didn't know that. There wasn't too much I wish I knew. I wish I knew how to relax and take it more easy because it all worked out perfectly. Can you still work out if you study abroad? Yes, you can. So Brooke, our third partner that we went with, she got a gym membership through the university and she was able to use the university gym and she was able to go work out whenever she wanted. And then in the second semester, Em and I and a bunch of our other roommates got a gym membership just to a gym super close to the res and we all just went together and it was really good. I wish I had started going to the gym sooner in Australia. I didn't really think about that. But yeah, you can still work out. Were the options for classes in Australia the same as at U of C or were you stuck taking really mainstream classes? I actually really loved every class I took in Australia. The classes were really good and they were a lot different than the ones in Canada, which I think is a pro because they had a lot of interesting ones. Like I took like an addiction studies class and I took an intro to pathophysiology class and I took a child and adolescent health class. They were really cool and they were different to Canadian university classes a little bit, but I also don't know what other kinesiology programs are like. The thing about Australia is they have a lot of cool option classes because of their environment. They can do lots of things outside. So I know when we were looking, there's a ECU campus in Bunbury and one of the classes there was a surfing class or something and we didn't understand how Bunbury wasn't a part of Perth before, but like we really were like convinced we needed to go to Bunbury, which is so funny. What's the group you went with? This wasn't through a specific faculty or anything like this. This was something like really independent independent that we took the initiative on, and it worked out really well that 3 of us were able to go and plan it all together. So we just went with the 3 of us, which was really nice. I would recommend if you could go with a friend, like why not? But also pick your friends wisely, because we've heard horror stories apparently. Like we thought we were gonna not do well and maybe like not like each other at the end of it, and we cried when we had to leave each other for the first time in like 22 weeks or something. Okay, I think that is all of the questions. I hope we answered them throughout just explaining the process and then actually straight up answering them. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see. Have a great day. I love you. I hope you have a good December. We'll see you next week.